see. All right. Welcome you to Porch Talk. This is your host, Alan. Closed on Sundays. Tyler Tisdale. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? It's good to see you.
Yeah. He's been on the show a couple times. Go back on the catalog, check that out. First time at the Sunstroke House, we were accused of being brothers. And we didn't let it die.
I'll take it.
But
I'll take it.
And then played Porch Fest. We got Porch Fest coming up April 17th, 18th, 19th. That is my way of announcements. And we recently both got into the same venture.
Yeah.
So
The old liquor business, man. Nothing like it.
With marijuana push it like it is, and I know you're green like I am, going on a year, but have you kind of noticed that it doesn't seem that people our age and younger drink as much?
Yes, that is a thing. That is definitely a thing. They still drink. It's just like it's in moderation. It's not like they're
healthy.
They're way healthier about it than I ever was at that age.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, as far as like my real thing with it though is like the liquor business will always do what it does, man. Like there's, you know what I mean? I just I think there's still enough of the older crowd that still enjoys, you know, a bottle that we don't. I'm not worried per se, but I have noticed a difference for sure.
Man, since I've been here, it'll be a year in April. And matter of fact, when Porch Fest weekend rolls around, that'll make a year.
Really?
And the thing that I have noticed is my regs are people like my dad's age and older. Like I have a few people that are my age or younger, but for the most part, like you said, these are people that are, this is what they did. This is what they know, and this is what they do.
I think I have a slightly different view of it being in a college town. You know, like, so I definitely have a younger crowd that shops at the store, but we're literally right down the street from the university. So I am surprised that I don't see more young people coming in, you know.
Oh, check this out. So a liquor store just went up for sale in Starkville.
Really?
And a friend of mine was interested, and like I got involved with it. And it was crazy to me, like I live and work in Starkville, and so I have an idea of which one it is, but the way it's listed is before, and we're trying to figure out like what do you buy? They won't give you the address, they like the building size, the license, like any information. They want to see your money and your finances before they show you anything.
And we went, my buddy Jesse, he's also a musician and a songwriter.
Grits and Green.
Grits and Green, shout out. So he's kind of my like business partner if we were, you know, to go into buying a store and start. That's like who I do stuff with. But he, it's funny, man. And I just lost my train of thought. I'm not gonna lie. Say the last thing you said.
Before you see anything, they want to see your finances.
Yes. So we got down to the nitty gritty on like a couple of different liquor stores.
Matter of fact, we were on the phone about this when it was going down. Yeah.
And that's kind of the process, man. It's like that they want to see like before they show you any of their numbers, they want to know that like you have some sort of backing or it's legit. Like you have a bank willing to give you a loan, or that like. They want to know that, you know, where are you pulling this money from before I even show you anything, you know? Mm-hmm. And I get that to an extent. Where I don't like it is like, you know, it's kind of, I'll say this, there's a reason for that. That's, you know, a little in the gray area, we'll say.
When I think about it now,
I'm
going back and looking at the past when I was acquiring this place. That was something that the previous owner was like, it was for sale for a year. He didn't have a realtor, and the price that he was asking, obviously he started high and was working his way down.
Which is what you do, you know? And that's how it was for the one we were trying to buy. Mm-hmm. It's like she was almost like setting a price where like a price
You gotta
where
really
she
want
saw,
this.
because it's also, that store was is in an area that's like on the up and up, and they're like developing that side of town.
Mhm.
And like, so there's a lot of like money going that way right now. So I think her price was also reflecting where she sees that store being in a few years, as the development continues. And so like, people will do that, they'll factor in anything they can to get the price up a little bit.
Mhm.
And things like that matter to the bank too when you're talking to them about getting a loan. They want to know those type things. So yeah, it's a weird when you
But-
when you decide to make that leap and try to buy a business, man. It's
But
scary.
here's the kicker, and I understand like why a business, especially a small business such as this, like you want to keep your numbers close because
Yeah.
And the first hang up I had in the process, he was like, I want to see that you're serious. I want to see like something from the bank that says you're moving in the direction.
Yeah.
On the price.
Well,
on
and
the,
the
price that we
flip
agreed on.
side-
But I told him this. I was like, I've already been to the bank, and they're not interested until I can show them what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because no, it doesn't matter well, it would matter the amount I'm putting down, but
Yeah.
the amount that I want to put down, they want to make sure that I'm making a good investment for, and
Yeah.
that was how I was able
Because
to get
that's
the
part of
numbers.
their job too. Is like a good investment for you is a good investment for them.
Mhm.
So like they want to know that you're not about to like do something you're going to regret at the same time. So, and the flip side to all that is like if if they were there's a lot of people, you'd be surprised I guess at how many people will go into talks with someone about buying their business, get them to show them all the numbers, and really at the end of the day what they're doing is getting you to show them all that so that they can compare with another buy or another purchase they're about to make for another business, and they're just making sure that they're like getting a good deal on another deal.
Mhm.
And then you've gone and put all your info out there and they had no interest in really buying your place. So like, I do get it, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You
I
can
get it
get
from all
burned.
sides.
Yeah, it all makes sense in the end. Like, I get why everybody approaches it the way
But
they
yeah,
do.
but my friend, he was kind of upset. He didn't understand it, and I was like, "You understand it." I was like, "You don't want to show, you don't want to show your hand."
Yeah, man, it's poker. You're just playing poker.
Mm-hmm. But that's business and liquor talk, man.
Yeah, which I'm sure it'll come back up again throughout this conversation.
Yeah, it's a big part of my life, man.
I know, man.
Yours too.
Yeah.
So, man, like, what? And I don't want to dig in too much, but and I appreciate you coming and doing this show. And like, this is something that you, as a songwriter and someone who's telling stories, is interested in doing. It's like I'm not doing a whole lot of shows anymore, so these are the kind of things that I want to do.
Yeah.
So, like, what kind of made you want to venture off into like liquor?
Man, first and foremost, it just, the music industry has had a big shift in the last, we'll say decade, but really like the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
It's been a
COVID.
big swing. COVID was the big push that I think the industry needed to go in the direction, like fully go in the direction that it's headed now, which is, like going out on the road and killing yourself and playing, 3-hour spots, 4 and 5 nights a week and burning yourself out just to try and get your name out there. It's not something you really have to do anymore, man. And so I guess that would be the technical upside, but why did we all get into this, man? To play shows. It's
Yeah.
it's and tour, see the country, see the world, play shows, and do what we love to do. So, it's a hard thing to kind of accept, but at the same time, man, you're talking to somebody that spent years touring all over the country trying to, build a following, and the harsh reality is, man, like people just don't go out like they used to. Man. They don't go to shows like they used to, man. Like, at least in America, you hear of your buddies that are lucky enough that have some kind of connection where they can go play in Europe once a year, maybe twice a year. They can go over there and go across the pond and go do their thing, and all you hear is how great the shows are and how it feels like you kind of step back in time a little bit when you go over there, because everybody's still, like, it's still important over there to like go out and support and see shows. Whereas here, like going out has become a like comfortability thing where like you like complacency is what's wanted, right? So it's like it's weird that like people want to go out and hear the same 5 songs. You know, if they don't hear those 5 songs, they're just not happy. Like they want to go out and know exactly, see a band, see a cover part, like a cover band, party band, whatever, that they've seen 100 times, and they're gonna see the exact same show they've seen every time. But that's what they want, man. At the end of the day, like if we're all gonna have a real conversation with ourselves, like that's what people want, man. They want to know what they're getting into, and they want to go and like, you know, sing songs they know, sing along to songs they know. Like the whole idea of opening yourself up to going and hearing an original artist and hearing some new music that you've never heard before and experiencing something different, like it's not something that Americans are really that into at the moment. At least in a good chunk of the Southeast, I'll say that. You know,
It feels that way.
You know, which sucks because I feel like so many of my favorite songwriters and like folk artists and stuff are from the Southeast, and a lot of those stories come from where we're from, you know. And like it I don't know, man, it's sad to see the shift, but then it's like, you know, I went and did 2 shows in New York last year and made that trip up there and back twice, and it's like you get in a big city like that and it's like there's still a little bit of what we're missing out there. It's there, it's just like you have to go to certain places to get it, you know. Whereas you can go over to Europe and play a show in the middle of an alleyway in some random place in BFE, you know, middle of Ireland somewhere, and you know, play to 120 people are going to stop and fill it up and come, you know, hear what you got to say, you know, and like it's just harder and harder to come by that here, I feel like.
I've got a friend of mine who's getting ready to move out to LA and pursuing music. He's already left Columbus once. He went down to Cleveland, Mississippi, and I didn't think he was going to come back from that, because when I called to check in, he's like, you know, I'm just surrounded by more music-minded people, and even though like there's not that many places to play around here, he said just the community, like everyone around here at least cares.
Yeah, man, and you see a lot more around closer to like big markets like that. You see a lot more like DIY type stuff going on.
And that's the thing. And you know, he's calling. He's like, well, "Man, what do you think about? I'm probably gonna move out to LA, and I'm gonna start a podcast, and like, it'll be just kind of a vlog and a podcast for what's going on in LA for everybody that's back home, so they can kind of keep up." And I was like, I mean, that's cool and all, but that wouldn't be something I would listen to.
Yeah.
But you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But like, as far as a move to LA, you're probably gonna find what you're looking for, because there's so many more people there. There's so much more opportunity there.
Yeah, man.
The cost of living is gonna be a whole lot more. You're gonna have to bust your ass.
Yeah.
But I was like, if you do get your foot in the door and you do get to play shows, like your style of music probably will work there.
Yeah, man. Well, it's like, I mean, look at everybody, you know, everybody we know that's like hustling in Nashville right now, or any of the major music markets, where it's like, you know, you talk to those guys and dude, they are worn out, man. They are worn out. You
Not
know,
only are they in their project,
working
they're
2 jobs, you know.
They got their project, they're in 4 other projects.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's
working 2 jobs and playing every night of the week just to make ends meet in an expensive ass city.
And it used to be East Nashville.
It's hard.
It started happening over 10 years ago. But when I was up in East Nashville 10 years ago, it was, you know, this ain't Broad Street.
Yeah.
This is very DIY. It's very indie scene. The clubs were kind of punk. And everybody that I knew that was kind of in that scene at that time, they were like, it's changing. They're about to gentrify East Nashville. Rent's going to go up, and you're going to have to, and they all ended up where? Jackson, you know, Tennessee, or on the outskirts. And, you kind of see how Dixon, Tennessee, and just kind of seeing things kind of being pushed out of Nashville.
Yeah.
I don't know, like with the live
Jackson's
music.
got a couple of cool venues though going on there. Dude, that have really come up
Yes,
because
they
of
do.
that have really come up the last couple of years.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity out there.
I do too, man. And it's just like it's really about like figuring out what you're willing to put up with, what you're what you're willing to sacrifice for the musician's life. You know what I mean? It's like, man, like I got a wife to think about. We got a mortgage. We got, you know, like bills to pay. And for me personally, man, it got like the places to play my style of music got further and further from each other, you know, and like staying out on the road got harder and harder and like more and more expensive. And it just got to the point where it just didn't make sense anymore, man. And I was, you know, and I love my wife to death, man, and she put up with a lot of shit, but it just got honestly to the point where I was tired of like disappointing her and letting her down, and like another opportunity that I've sold her on that falls through and doesn't work out, and it's just like, it's just a different world, man. It's like if you're not willing to like do the TikTok thing and like and be about that life, like then, you know, go get a job. And that's where I was, man. So I went and got a job. And the other thing that made sense to me was the liquor business. You know,
Same.
I was
Same.
like, man, I know I can sling booze.
Yeah.
You know,
One of the only, I mean, it's like this with the weed industry or with the liquor or booze is you ain't got to advertise that on the TV. You ain't even like people are
people
gonna look for you. You know, you don't have to look for them.
the pandemic was very eye opening too, because the liquor stores got
The
deemed
pass.
essential business.
Mhm.
Because if alcoholics couldn't get their
They could
liquor, they could die, and they'll fill up the emergency rooms too during a national or a worldwide pandemic. You know, like, so like in my mind, I'm like, well, dang, dude, doesn't matter. Even if the world shuts down, I'm open for business. You know, like that made a lot of sense to me. You know, so
Until the ABC decides to break down all their belts.
yeah, you guys.
Mississippi's underneath it right now.
Yeah, you guys got a little more to worry about in that aspect. Yeah, I could, man. It's so funny how similar Mississippi and Alabama are, and when it comes to like liquor laws and stuff. But you get outside of those two states, and then everybody's just like looking at us like, "What are y'all doing down there?"
Maybe with the exception of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Because it seems like every story of if Arkansas and alcohol is in the same sentence, it usually means jail.
Yeah.
It's like anytime someone is telling me, "Man, I'm going up to Little Rock," I was like, "For the love of God, do not drink at all. Or you're going to jail. Do not pass go. Don't collect $200. Go to jail." So like Arkansas
old
is like,
man did a couple shows in right outside of Little Rock a few years back, man. Yeah, dude, you ain't lying, man. You talk about just so sketchy. Leaving Little Rock at 2 a.m. loading up a band full of hippies is not the best feeling in the world.
Dude, Thursday night after the open mic, I'm over in Columbus. Open mic wraps up at 10. I'm coming back over here. I need to collect and get everything ready for Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And Sonia worked. I had a beer truck come in. I wrote my brother. I was like, "Man, if you don't mind, we'll go down to the store and get all that beer put up for me." He never wrote me back. Matter of fact, he never even like read receipts on. He never even looked at the message. And so I've come over here, and the way that usually our beer reps, like wherever in here you tell them to dump it, that's where they'll put it.
Yeah.
I don't know if this particular beer rep got a new driver or what, but when I got in, I didn't turn any lights on. It's damn dark in here. I about tripped because the damn beer pallet's in the middle of the floor. And I was like, "That's been sitting there since 2 o'clock. Are you kidding me?" If people had to walk around that to go get whatever they needed, and some of the things were picked off of. So it's like somebody was like, "Ooh." You know, it's like, "Yeah, let me get some of that." But
Just ain't got off the pallet yet.
yeah. And so like I unload all that, and after I get through with everything here, it's 11 o'clock. I got an hour drive back to Starkville, and just back to the Arkansas thing.
I forget you're still.
I'm in that. Yeah, I'm still working full time over there.
Damn.
And I'm on that last bend. It's about to open up. It's about to straight shot to Starkville. You're about to start seeing the lights. Well, those lights. Blue lights. lights.
Yeah, not the ones you want to see.
And thankfully, what I had to drink was a long time ago. And after I'd worked that damn pallet down, I done sweated that shit out or whatever. And I pull up to the roadblock. There's 6 cars piled off to the side, and I was like, well, there's at least 6 people that had their night.
7.
Yeah, might be 7. And I pull up, I show my ID, proof of insurance, and I had my guitar in the back of the truck. I said, "You play music?" I said, "Am I free to go or not?" And he said, "Geez, man, yeah." I said, "It's like, I'm not gonna. The longer I talk, the bigger chance you have. But I'm not talking to you right now.
Quit talking to me, man. Just get me out of here."
He's like, "Golly," I was like, "Yeah, dude. Like, this ain't. I'm not making a friend here tonight. Well, you want me to sit on the tailgate for you while you wait to haul me off in the tagway? I mean, what do you want from me?"
The less I breathe on you right now, the better.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep it in. Mississippi, state trooper roadblocks at midnight.
Yeah, man, I love them.
Which is crazy because, like, some counties, like when I lived in Columbus, Lowndes County is like open container law in there. You can drive in Lowndes County. Open.
There's like a weird law like that. It's either, I think it's in Hattiesburg. It's either Hattiesburg or Pell. I think it's Hattiesburg. There's like a weird law. Like, as long as you're under
The legal
limit, you can be driving with an open container. Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
But the moment you're over, not only do you get,
Yeah.
they start tacking tickets on you. It's like, yeah, they got you.
I ain't trying to find out how many beers that takes. You know what I mean?
Holy. But dude, just like back to music for you right now, like songs you shared earlier, new songs. Gotta say, favorite songs of mine now, of yours.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, that's kind of, honestly, man, it's funny, and I'm glad you brought that up, dude. It's funny, like, when I was full-time with it, and, like, all my focus was on music, that was the least creative I had been in years. Like, that was the least amount of writing I was doing during that time. Because you're, like, trying to do so many other things, you know, like, keeping a calendar full and social media stuff and, you know, making content and, you know, like, if you do your own graphic design and all that stuff, which I was for a while, like, you know, all that stuff's time consuming, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's funny, man, I've quit playing shows basically, and I mean, I still do stuff like fun stuff like this, and any listening room type situation, like, I'll lose money to go play it. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like, it's not about the money anymore because I have a job now and I have a consistent paycheck and I don't have to worry about that. So now when something fun comes up and it's like, I got to drive 4 hours and the money I'm making is probably not even going to cover the gas. It's like, yeah, but is it going to be a good vibe? You know, like, is it going to be a show I'll remember, you know, and like, you know, we'll have a good time, and you know, if it's like a special thing like that, you know, where it's like a community type deal, like, I'm there, man. I'm all for it. I'll make time for that stuff. But once I got off the grind, though, man, it's like the creativity started flowing. Man. Once it wasn't like I gotta play shows to eat,
The pressure's
you
off.
know what I mean? The pressure was gone, and it just kind of like allowed it to start flowing again.
I think it kind of puts you in the wrong kind of pocket too, because I mean, when you're out there on the road, constantly playing shows every night, and you know, you have fast songs, slow songs, love songs, railroad songs. You know, you have, and then you're out there looking at a different crowd each night, and you have an idea of what people are into and what they're listening to. It's like you kind of start forcing yourself down that way, and you're kind of getting away with like, okay, back when it was just me and my guitar and I was actually writing, the canvas is kind of open.
You're kind of, and I like the way you just said that, and I'll take it a step further, but yeah, you're kind of forced to pander at times. I mean, you know, not intentionally, but it's like you do read the room, and it's like your set list might be adjusted a bit because of that, you know, and it's like,
well, we're doing a few covers tonight.
Yeah, you know, it's like, okay, I can tell that, like, all my songs about my wife isn't what this crowd's wanting to hear. All my songs, you know, about, you know, me drinking too much or whatever, is like, they want to hear some shit they know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And go back to what we were talking about earlier. You know, it's like people. That's kind of a common thing with the grind here in America. Is just like, you know, you have to, at a certain point, you just kind of got to give in. If you want to make a living, you know, you kind of got to give in and just start learning some covers, man. That's what they want to hear, you know. And it's like this mindset with all the venues of like, it's like, yeah, send me what covers you play. They don't even care to hear your recorded original music that you spent money recording and making all that shit. They don't even care about that. They're like, send me a list of what covers you play, and then, yeah, you can sprinkle your originals in too. You know, like that's the mindset, you know.
It was one of the last. We were trying to break into Tuscaloosa. It was back when I was in the band, and I thought, like, okay, we'll start with Rounders. That's the hottest town. It's on the Strip.
Yeah.
It's the closest
I
one to the
remember Rounders.
university.
Yeah.
And got over there and, you know, told them, it's like, hey, we're called Groove Johnson, and you know, we got this kind of funky bluesy sound. He's like, okay, yeah, come by and we'll talk about set time and we'll talk about all that. I was like, okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
I get up there to further talk about it. Slides a piece of paper across the counter. There's your set list. I slid it back to him. I said, all right, then.
Guess we're not playing Rounders.
I was like, there ain't no Tom Petty on there, man. What the hell?
Well, it's like, man, it's like, dude, it's like when one of your friends, being a musician, and it's like, especially one that writes their own music, and it's like one of your friends is getting married and they want you to play their wedding. And it's like, you have to do that whole weird, like, I'm going to say no, but this is why. Because you want this day to be about you and all the songs you want to hear and everything. So hire a band that does that. You know, like, don't make me spend weeks learning shit that I'll never play again and don't want to play. You know what I mean? Like, hire a party band or a wedding band that, like, that's what they do. You know, you'll be so much happier and your money will be so much more well spent.
I can just be at the wedding.
And I can just be there having a good time.
I don't have
enjoy
a job.
the free food.
Yeah.
I don't have to load shit in or anything. Or, you know, and I'll even, if one of my songs is, you just want one of my songs to be played, let me play your first dance or something. You know what I mean? Like, let me come up and play a song and then just be at your wedding. You know, and it's like, it's not like a negative thing for them. Like, it's like, I love that you love me and want me to play your wedding, but you're gonna regret this so hard. Like, that is not what I'm good at. You know, like. I know 10 guys or 10 bands that I could give you their number, and they're gonna blow me out of the water because that's what they do.
Matter of fact, all they do is frat house runs. One time they got paid 3 hours to play the same Deadhead song. They love this shit. They'll kill it.
Absolutely.
They're so proud for it.
Yeah, man.
They want to party. I'm not in the party mood.
I'm trying to, like, leave at 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I had
trying to Irish goodbye everybody and get on out of here.
But dude, like, with the songwriting now and like being able to just take your time, let hell, one of my favorite Dan Auerbach songs is called "Waiting on a Song," and I always felt like that was true, and that was, you know, back when I was leading up like the songwriting groups, and you know, I always felt, I was like, it's weird to lead something like this, and I'm not always kind of bringing something to the table. And then that was one of the final lessons that I gave in the group was, sometimes, man, you're waiting on a song. Yeah. And I was like, it's okay to be in a rut, but also, like, if you're in that rut, man, you gotta get yourself in a different environment, because, like, whatever environment you're in, like you were saying, it's festering and it's eating away at your creative ability. And, like, there's obviously too much pressure on you because you're worrying about other things, and like that, it's fight or flight. And you're gonna do what you have to do to survive, and that's not on the list.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. Yeah, you can't always force it, man. Like, some guy, there's like those guys that will not write shit and then like wait and like book 2 weeks in the studio, spend a week writing the record and a week recording it. Like, that blows my mind, dude. That absolutely blows my mind, man. Like, to be able to pull that off is just like, it's impressive, man. And I just don't think I could. I don't think I would write my best stuff under those like terms. You know what I mean? Or in those conditions. I don't think you'd get the best out of me. I think you'd get some good stuff. You know, I think we'd come out with a good record.
That's what they
maybe
say
even
about cracking eggs.
but
right?
like,
We'll be cracking a lot of eggs.
dude, give me a year to make a record, and I'm gonna make you some shit. You know what I mean? Like, give me some time to like, because a lot of times, dude, it's funny, man. It's like, how rare is it to like meet I think what I'm getting at is I think you got to go through some stuff to write about some stuff and write a good song. And it's like, how rare is it that these days that you meet like some 16-year-old or 19-year-old that's just like, you're just absolutely blown away by their original music. Like the stuff that they write, you're just absolutely blown away. Like,
I can name one, and she's 17.
And it does. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It does happen because kids go through shit too. You know what I mean? Like, some kids have a hard come up or whatever, or maybe they just they're just like been touched, so to speak, and just have it. You know, but like a lot of times, like when I see a kid that's first coming on to like our local scene, and he's like, you know, just graduating high school or whatever, and they've put a band together and they're starting to play shows and do their thing.
Oh, it's DIY out the garage,
dude. And it's like I'm seeing all those kids now, like, because I'm getting older, and it's like I had the kids that were like super young when I was like, you know, early mid-20s, and now I'm like in my mid-30s, and it's like those kids are now in their, you know, mid-20s, late 20s or whatever, and like they're like kind of running the scene now, and it's like, dude, like completely different artists, like they're just like, it's leaps and bounds, and I'm like, because you went through some shit. You struggled to pay your fucking light bill enough times, and you've done, you know what I mean, whatever it is, you've struggled enough or like going through it and seen some shit, and now you got some shit to say, you know, and it's like, and your songs are better for it, you know, and it's like, I wish that new artists and like these younger kids coming up, there's just this rush to get on TikTok and start posting and blow up. And it's like, I wish that some of them would take the time to let it develop and like take the time to like it took me like 10 years of gigging and playing before I would ever look you in the eye and be like, yeah, I can sing. And that's still kind of tough for me to do. You know what I mean? It's like, but it took me a decade before I was like, I can do this. I'm a good singer. I have control over my voice, and I can do the damn thing. You know, it's like, but it took me a decade to get there, man. Like, it was a lot of hard learned lessons, you know what I mean? And I didn't even start singing until I was 19. You know, so it's like, then when I finally turned 30, it was like all those years of repetition and muscle memory and all had kind of just taken over. But it's like, you know, maybe if I had started singing when I was 4, it'd have been there. But it's like, but would my stories have been worth the shit? You know, it's like I had a good life, man. I didn't really struggle as a kid. I had 2 good parents that, you know, worked good jobs and provided for us. And like, you know, it's like, it took me leaving the nest and you know, being like, I'm gonna just, at 18, and just being like, I'm gonna just go figure this thing called life out, you know, and I struggled really bad, you know, like starting out, you know, and went through some shit, and like, you know, it took time before, and heartbreaks and all that shit before I really had things to say, you know, and I feel like there's such a rush nowadays to just put it on TikTok, and eventually you'll find your audience, and eventually it'll catch on, but it's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes I think that's where we're gonna miss the getting out on the road and grinding and playing 3 or 4 nights a week, and like
I love what
I think that's where we'll miss that a little bit, is like what you learn out there on the road doing that stuff, and like the lessons and just like, you know, just getting better in general.
Well, I would almost
that's
say
the best practice you could ever get.
Like the road time, and like, you know, thankfully I hope I put in enough to where like I wanna set up the trajectory here at this business, and then hopefully, you know, I do a lot of the booking at Munson's, like majority of it, and like even, you know, in some of the surrounding places I help put things together. And
you do
like,
a lot for musicians, man.
I try, man. Like, I mean,
don't undersell yourself.
Because like, man, I remember being from this area, and Man, it was everything to get a damn gig in Columbus because there were so many musicians, and like this is 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Just to get your foot in the door, to be
There's
able to
a
play
lot
because
of
it was
talent
it was
up here,
booked.
man.
It was booked.
Yeah.
And like to get in there on rotation, you would almost have to be like invited up by somebody else, and like I'll let you open for me,
Yeah.
traditional ways. And then I moved down to Mobile, and it was a much bigger scene, and I was able to get in, but like I was older, I had been writing, I
Yeah.
had struggled, and I moved back up here, and like it was still kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And so like the podcasts, the festivals, this now, and
Yeah.
but like man, what Will Johnson and like I thank God for Jamie because I was able to like talk to musicians like Will Johnson, and it was Centromatic, and he worked with Jason Isbell for years, and
Yeah.
like he's been in the game for a while, and he's out of Texas, and the record label that he's in, that's the next thing that I want.
Yeah.
I want to be able to have an agency and a label, and I don't care if it's already established like Cornelius Chapel or something like that.
Yeah.
But to be able to record your record to where it doesn't break the musician after after that entire recording process, because a lot of times you get bent over on that, then it's like, well, now I got to pray to have the thing pressed or put on CD, and I don't have the funds for that. Now I got to get a credit card to get that, and I don't have the T-shirts to go with it. And then, by the way, I don't have an agent, so how the hell am I supposed to get out?
Dude, making a record's like buying a car.
Yes, the hell, yes.
Dude, people don't realize how much it costs, man. Like, it is expensive, man. And the one thing I'll say, or not the one thing, like, there's a lot of upside to technology. Like, there's parts of me, maybe this is times where I realize I'm getting older too, where it's like, there's parts of me that's like, I hate technology, it's like, God, they don't make nothing like they used to, like that type of mentality. But it's like, then there's times where it's like, technology has made it very easy for you to make a record.
Oh, I know, like the Porch.
You've got,
record.
like,
I did all that off that right there.
Man, they've got like these, like the Autogo, some free publicity for Autogo. Holler at
I see their Facebook ads.
Holler at me, Autogo. Let's put something together. But dude, their little cube that they have, it's like a studio in your pocket, man. Like, it is legit, man. And like, you could, like, a solo singer-songwriter with just one little Autogo cube could like make an EP easily, and the technology's there, man. Like, I've recorded some stuff with that thing and sent it to buddies of mine that like have their own studios, and it pisses them off how good it sounds, because they're like, they've just sunk so much money into their studio, and I've got like this little thing, and they're just like, damn.
All right, Autogo. I apologize to everybody, but to prove this is not an ad, we are ad free here. I'm about to have to slay a couple of slurs. So,
but it really, if you're an up and coming artist, like, now is the time. Like, you will be like, every iPhone and iPad or laptop, MacBook comes with GarageBand. And I don't know how it took me forever to really give in and realize it, but GarageBand is all you need to make a record, man. Like, if you have it if you have that app on a device, like, you have the opportunity to make a record and to do it cheaply. At least get it cut down to where, instead of paying for a studio and paying for like an engineer's time, like that. Right, and it's a weird thing for me to advocate for, because I love engineers and I love studios, but it's so hard to afford that stuff. So if you can bypass that right now while you're up and coming, you don't have the money to do that type of stuff, use technology to your advantage. You can make an EP, one that's worthy of being heard and being put on Spotify and all that stuff. You can make something that sounds good. Do it, record it there, and then send it to someone to have it mixed and mastered professionally. Send it to someone else and let them do it. But you can get the bones of it done and at least cut your costs in half right now. Make your EP, get it recorded, get it out there, get people hearing it, and then once you've got your footing and you've got a business going, and you can count on the money that you're making playing shows, and if you're making anything off streams, and with making money off streams for up and coming artists, really, if you're making enough money back off your streams to like pay for more playlisting or pay for more recording or whatever, like, that's really all you're trying to do off of it. focus on trying to like, I gotta figure out how to make money on Spotify. You're never gonna do it, but you can make enough money to like pay for things.
I have made tens of dollars.
I mean, but like, you could turn that into like a $50 playlist ad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, there's like, it's a little more doable than people realize, but at the same time, it's like there is, like, you'll never replace being in a studio and the feeling of making a record and being in that vibe and that mindset. But like, if you can't afford that, you can still make a record, you know? Like and that's kind of the beauty of technology right now for me is like, well, I know a ton of bands that do not have $800 a day or whatever it costs to record at set studio, you know? It's like, that's what it costs, man. It's like $800 to go spend one day in a studio, and in reality, you need about 5 to make a good record, you know. And it adds up quick, man. It adds up quick.
It'll do it. But dude, let's do 3 more maybe. We'll wrap it up. Get some food in our bellies. We got a show.
I like that.
Man, I appreciate you making the drive up here.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me. Always a pleasure.
We talked about the front end of the recording, but like I think oftentimes where a lot of people begin to get stuck after you've got the record and you're gaining traction. DIY will only get you so far before you are gonna have to get yourself an agent.
Or at least, you know, maybe not because man, finding an actual professional agent is so tough, and they come to you, man. You're not gonna find one; they come find you. 99%
I had somebody at the open mic the other night ask me. He's like, "I'm looking for an agent. Like, you got any suggestions?" I was like,
"Be looking for a long time, man."
Yeah,
they're gonna find you when the time's right.
Everything I know about an agent is like
really, what would serve you best is researching everything that an agent does. And finding a friend of yours that has the time and wants to help and maybe even needs a job and you can afford to pay them a little bit and they could use the extra money. Like, pay them, someone like that you know that cares about you to do all those things. And learn how to do it together and figure it out. But yes, there does come a point where you need someone else reaching out for you. You know, and there's just certain gigs you're not gonna get if you're the one reaching out for yourself. You know, and a little known secret: make a fake booking agent email, and just learn how to type in third person. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like, there's bands that have been doing that for years, where it's like, you've been emailing with their booking agent, but you're really talking to the front man of the band, you know. But it's like they've created this booking agent because it opens doors for you. To have someone else reaching out on your behalf does open doors for you. There's no arguing that ever. Like it does. But it doesn't have to be. Let me go find an agent. Be your own agent. Gmail will let you make literally as many email addresses as you want to.
No, that's true.
You can create, and if you want to make it look like you got 10 booking agents, have that.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Man, life now, transitioning up to a year to like just moving over to full-time work and not really trying to be out on the road, man. How's life?
It's good, man. It's been a good transition. And luckily I enjoy the liquor store business. Like, it's fun. You meet a lot of characters, and
that's the thing about it.
It's a hustle, man, and I relate to a hustle, you know.
What I love most about here is like I'll never have to go looking for a story again.
Yeah.
I have a story walking that door.
Oh man.
Every there's a story every time that door opens.
I have to, and I can't think of the name of it right now. I have to pull it up on my phone. I'm gonna show it to you when we get done here. But there's a song that's that a friend sent to me recently. It's about old ladies coming in to buy cheap wine. I think it's called Cheap Wine or something. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. But anyways, we're gonna listen to it when we get done, and you're gonna really love that song. It's a great song. But it opened my mind. I was like, man, we really do. We have a story for a song. Every other person that comes in has got some wild shit to say that I could write a song about.
Awful wild shit. Have you found they almost treat you behind the counter like you're the bartender?
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm kind of all right with it.
Yeah, I was like,
What's happening?
they'll come in the door, like, sometimes they're yelling.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I've
did
got
I
a
do?
lady. I spend a lot of time on my computer in the back, and I've got a lady that if you're
Get
not,
Tyler out here.
if you're not standing behind the counter when she walks in, she just goes, "Hi, hi!" It just starts screaming as soon as she walks in. Because you get out there quick, man.
Well, dude, let's take a listen to Cheap Wine, dude. What you had to thought?
Good seeing you, brother.
Yeah, man.